and it looks like it's starting over. Dang. Hold on, I got a bad Wi-Fi problem. Okay. Um, I hope y'all are there. I didn't realize I was on Wi-Fi instead of hardwired, which is not good, and creates all kinds of problems. So I'm gonna hope y'all are there. I have the biggest mess on my desk. I am so glad that you're only gonna be able to see about this 8-inch square because I'm embarrassed that the rest of this is over here. But it was a busy morning and so exciting. So yesterday I took Harden for his checkup. He's 15, and so he had his doctor visit, and that kept him out of school all day and gave us a really nice time. We went to the doctor, which is down near Vanderbilt, and then we went out to lunch and came home and just had a really nice time, which we don't get to do very often. And, he's a freshman in high school, so I know our days of doing that are numbered as well. He's going to be off to college before I know it. Then today he had an orthodontist appointment this morning before school, and that took a little longer than expected. And got the very exciting news that on his next visit, they're going to take his braces off. So I can't wait to see his smile. He's been wearing braces for a long time, which is my fault. He is missing a tooth, which turns out is on my side of the family. His sister was missing that same tooth on both sides. So I don't know. Never knew that would happen until my kids came along, and that was quite the surprise. So so things have not happened the way they normally happen. And guess I really hope I am live because I'm not seeing y'all yet. Um, it says I am, but forgive me. I'm just going to be a little paranoid and see if I can't check on my phone. Um, I hate to do this, I really do, but um, okay, I don't know. And this is not where I should have gone because it's going to make me want to do something I don't want to do, which is to switch profiles. And oh boy. Okay, I've seriously goofed up there. Um, okay, just going to wing it for a few minutes and let my phone recover, and then I'll come back to that. Anyway, so today you didn't have the projects photographed ahead of time, um, but they are finished and they are adorable. And there's so much you can do with this suite. It is so, so cute. This playing in the rain with its little coordinating designer series paper. And my phone is seriously mad at me. So I'm just going to clear everything off. Um, Goodness gracious. Technology is amazing until it's just not, right? Um, and okay, try this again. Okay, it's not showing me. I could maybe go to YouTube. We get so, um, what's my word, dependent on this, which the hard thing about our house, just in the last week, 10 days or so, the stereo receiver went out, which meant we couldn't watch DVDs. Just, okay, that's all right. There's lots of choices that aren't on DVD. Then the microwave died, and we have one of those that fits into the wall kind of things, and so that took some shopping. But Greg, took care of that, and Best Buy delivered a new one earlier today. And by deliver, I mean they brought it in the house and they set it down, and it'll be up to us, I guess, to figure out how to get the dang thing into the wall. Not quite sure that Greg knows they weren't going to install that. Okay, this is no fun. See what it's doing? It's doing nothing because I need it to do something. It's not going to do anything. Well, worst case, as long as it's recording, then I can get it out later. So we're just going to forget that. Although it's way more fun when y'all are able to watch and comment with me. And I definitely could use a little help with one of these cards. So maybe y'all will be able to find me before we get to that point. Okay, I'm going to get the camera off me onto my desk. Now, I brought this grid paper back. This grid paper is on the clearance rack, so it is available at a steal of a price, which I can't tell you what it is, but it's my favorite grid paper to work because I feel like I get all kinds of sections for centering and stuff. And we're gonna need that for one of our cards today. So let me show you all these cards. And you can see I really went with pretty simple cards. And I'm going to show you how to do this border. I call this my holly border because my sister-in-law always used to do something like this on our scrapbook pages, and I really, really, really loved it. In fact, for a long time, we just gave her our pages and said, hey, do your little doodle. And she knew that we were looking for some sort of border like this. So that is just a hand-drawn border, and we're going to do that for this card. And yet my dots are navy. They're not black, and I think they look black enough, but we've got other options that we can use when we get to there. So that is one of the cards. This is another one of the cards, and super cute, just using the DSP. And you could cut, I believe you could cut this out of the DSP or stamp and die cut in color, which is what I did. But we're going to take a look at the paper in just a second. And is it Valentine's Day? Is that why nobody's on yet? I'm starting to get just a little concerned. Okay, the third card is the one that I can't decide if it needs anything else. Okay, there are a couple of things that it obviously needs. Okay, the happy day, that's crooked. Even I can tell that it's crooked. But I'm not so sure about this white space up here, if that's okay or if it's not. Do we need some embellishments? I might have been tempted to pull out some of those loose daisies, but they are currently not available. So I intentionally left those off. But if you'll notice, I used all three of the big images from this stamp set. So I thought that was, quite cute. Um, this is on a note card, and note cards come 20 to a package. They're 3.5 by 5, and you get 20 to that package for, I'm going to say $7. That's a best guess, top of the head kind of thing. But um, it is a fabulous value. I tell all my stampers new to my team when they are building their starter kit to consider adding a pack of note cards because that will save them cutting card bases right away. So now I'm going to pull in the designer series paper so y'all can see this amazing paper. So you've got this one that would be great for a scene. Remember that scene I did for River with the On the Farm, which happens to be right here because I haven't seen the little devil to give it to him. But so we have another designer series paper with a scene that you could make little. Okay, one of them has. Oh gosh, I hope the cats didn't steal it. The little pigs have. The pigs are missing. Um, hmm. Well, they're here. Or I'll cut him some news. Oh, I found them. Okay, I found the pigs. So there they are. So now we have another scene with little creatures that would make a darling backdrop like I made for him. So, and there is some embossed kind of shininess to the clouds, the outline of the clouds on that page. And then you get this kind of um, kind of a watercolor look to the grid here. It's not all just a solid color. It just kind of fades and comes back. I want to call that watercolor. I'm not exactly sure. Okay, then these. Okay, so notice, here we go. Here's the stamp set. Here are the dies. And that cuts out that one. And this one cuts out the bunny. And this one cuts out the turtle. How cute, cute, cute is that? I'm trying to decide. I don't think Don't think any of the rest of these work with this like that. Throw those back in there. So, but you have those, and they have some detail on them that looks embossed and shiny as well. And on the back side, you have this lovely flirty flamingo stripe. And then how cool is this with all these textured raindrops falling? Another paper with a lot of balmy blue, huh? And then, oh, how cute, cute, cute are these? All right. Yep, you're going to have to fussy cut them, but they are so adorable. Um, well worth fussy cutting. Fussy cutting just means that you're cutting them out with scissors. There's not a punch or dies that go with it. And then you've got some Mango Melody and some Flirty Flamingo. Did I show you the back side of this one? I clearly didn't because it caught my eye. But isn't that amazing? Fun, fun backdrops here. Then this is the sheet that I used on our card today. And the flip side of it is another Flirty Flamingo pattern. So you'll notice that this designer series paper, like I don't want to say all of the designer series paper, but so many of them follow the same um, characteristics, that one side is pretty specific and the other side is a pattern that you could use so much more generically. And then these have all these great umbrellas, and they are all got little embossed pieces to them. And then this lovely Mango Melody floral pattern on the back. All right, and I'm actually going to get that off my desk because I have a feeling that that is real estate that I might need in a few moments. So this is a 12 by 12 pack of paper, and you get 2 each of the 6 sheets in the pack. All right, put that over there. So the class to go this week features this playing in the rain bundle, and it is in the mini catalog, which is January through April. And the paper is here as well. Let's see if I can find. Rain or Shine is the name of the paper. It's on page 51 of this catalog. And so you can see all of these amazing ideas. Look at the kites, right? With the little, and the die actually cuts out 3 little bows. You've got a die to cut out these umbrellas and the clouds. And so you have the stamp set, the dies, and look, the dies have got some extra pieces too. You've got a bridge, you've got some greenery and a stump, and then the kites, like we said. There's an embossing folder that is raindrops, and then here are these loose daisy embellishments that are not available right now. So, and the colors: Flirty Flamingo, Cajun Craze, Mango Melody, Old Olive, Balmy Blue, and then they said UV coating, which is what I've been calling the embossing look to it. We are still in celebration for 2 more weeks. With a $35 order, I'm going to send you supplies to make 3 each of these cards, or 2 each of the 3 designs. Man, oh man. And then with a $50 order, you'll get all of that, an embellishment, and you'll have a celebration selection. So it is definitely worth your, it's a better value to go ahead and place that $50 order and get the little bump. All right, so let's jump in because I'm only getting more and more nervous about this not being seen. And I don't think that there's a way. And now it's spinning again, and you guys are just going to watch it spin because I've got the camera down here, which, okay, I don't want to do that. Well, like I said, there's nothing I can do about it. What's the worst thing that it could be, right? I talk to myself for the length of time it takes me to do these. So let's jump in and let's do this one first. Now, I went ahead and did a little bit of die cutting, but I am going to show you how I do this and talk a little bit about why. So for this card, we need to die cut the little fox with the umbrella and the clouds. Now, you could stamp and then die cut these designs. I don't do that very well. So I almost always die cut and then stamp using the Stamparatus. So that's what I'm going to show you right now. And I'm just going to move as quickly as I can um, without skipping steps. I'll do my best anyway. All right, so I'm going to grab, there's the die with the fox, and then I need the clouds, which are right here. And I'm going to grab the much loved already boho blue mini cut and emboss machine and 3 of the plates. Now, I've grabbed the plate number 3, and it just makes it easier to work with, in my opinion. We had some training in the last week about our sandwich for this machine. And can you see? What you want to think about is making an E. Okay, that's not what I thought initially. So I'm relearning this. But you want your base plate and your top plate to meet, but you want this middle one to be pushed back just a little bit. So they make an E, if you will. I use the gray plate a lot just because it's easier for me to roll through. However, it comes with this white plate, which you definitely want to do if you're using detailed dies, and the dark gray plate, which we've used for embossing folders before. And then, of course, it has the 2 clear acrylic plates. So this, this number 1 is a little thicker than number 3. And then number 4 is thinner still. And that's because the sandwich is a different thickness for our embossing folders. All right, now what have I done? Here's my scratch paper. So we're going to put these like this. And I'm doing 2 things here. I'm building a template to put my die cut pieces in on the Stamparatus, and I'm die cutting my pieces. So I've got my 1, my 2, and then my other 2 I'm going to put on top and then crank it through. Now, celebration, only 2 more weeks, guys. The joining special is incredible right now. You can choose $175 in products of your choice for $99 plus tax. There's no shipping on that order. Or you can add in this mini machine in either the boho blue or white for an additional $30. So for $129, you can get this machine plus $175 in your choice of products, plus catalogs and such to share with your friends and family. All right, now I'm going to actually turn off my mouse and move him. So this is the Stamparatus, and I've got a piece of the grid paper here, and I'm actually going to remove my 2 stamps that we're using and show you kind of start to finish what to do here. Now I've got my grid paper pushed into the corner, and that's important that it stays in the corner. And then I'm going to put this little guy like so. I just want I want my template to be able to fit within here. Now, you can put your frame this way if you want, so that it's open at the bottom and the right, or this way. And there are so many possibilities. I I do fully intend to make some videos to show how to do this this one thing specifically. Of course, now I've moved my mouse away and I don't have it to play with. I think maybe I'll just go back to bed. I seem to be really struggling today. All right, I want Memento Black for stamping. So I'm going to just ink this up and then stamp this down. And I need to remember to be very careful today on my desk because earlier today I was cleaning a stamp and my light came down, which knocked my my camera over. It all just was coming towards me. So I something has wiggled, and I need to get it fixed, tightened back up. So right now it is all leaning very precariously. Okay, so now what I'm doing is lining up my template just around that image I just stamped because I know when I bring that arm back over, it is going to stamp whatever is in the middle like that. So now I take my die cut and I put it inside. So this is the piece we just cut out. And I ink it up again. I put a stamp case underneath this arm so that I am able to apply even pressure with my ink pad. And remember, you don't have to apply a lot of pressure. It's just a gentle touch. Since it's Valentine's Day, I'll tell you that you don't want to make out the ink pad and the stamp don't want to make out. They just want a simple kiss, a grandma kiss, okay? Oh, and I forgot to put that silly phone on Do Not Disturb, so that's what that is. All right, so I've got that out. Now I need to clean this off. And I have a chamois that I have cut into 4 pieces, and I like to use it for cleaning off this stamp on my Stamparatus. It's just an easy size to work with, but it is just a piece of chamois it's a chamois that I cut up. All right, now for the clouds, it's the same process. Okay, I'm just going to put them like so, pick them up, then I will ink them up and stamp them down, making sure that my grid paper stays in the corner. And it all hinges on that. And then put this down like this. Just working that around the cloud image. And then I'll put my clouds in here. How cute is it that you get all 3 die cut at once and all 3 stamped at once? I like the efficiency of that. Okay, now that was poor planning on my part. Do you see I brought the stamp straight down on. Okay, I'm going to try and push it out of the way. The magnet was underneath this stamp, so I couldn't get an even stamp when I did that. And it looks like I had some shifting around, but I think that's okay. All right, now we'll clean this guy up. And we'll move the Stamparatus out of the way. And the next thing, okay, so here's where we are so far. We need to stamp Oh Happy Day. We're going to stamp that in Pacific Point on a piece of vellum that I've already cut. And remember, when you get your kit, you'll get the pieces, like for this kit, for this card. Oh, Joyce, I'm so glad to know it's actually broadcasting. We had a little problem earlier. Okay, so this is what the kit looks like for this card, right? It's got the two card bases. It has two pieces of white for inside. The DSP is already cut. I put in two strips of DSP for the inside, and then these pieces of white are for your die cutting that you need to do with the bundle. Okay, so now back to Happy Day. We're going to stamp this in Pacific Point, which is a color I don't use very much. Happy Valentine's Day, Joyce. Um, okay, I've already got this on the block, and I am, vellum is see-through, so I'm going to do my best to get this straight here. Now, for that last card, we're probably going to move it to the Stamparatus, but for this one, I did okay earlier, so let's see if I can do it again. So I'm just gently tapping to ink up my stamp, and these stamps are, I hope my head is not in the camera. These stamps are called Cling. They are red rubber stamps. Okay, I can't tell if that's straight or not. They are red rubber. We use them on these acrylic blocks, and you use them over and over again. And I can see that, oh my gosh, that is really not straight. Okay, well, nuts. I do have some extra. Wonder where I put it. Well, here. See, I knew that there was a big chance I would get that. All right, I'm going to pull this closer to me just because I'm not feeling like I want to get the Stamparatus out right now. And actually, these letters, I think, they aren't in perfect alignment. But I'm working with my sticker to get these as straight as possible, putting even pressure, but being very careful not to rock this and pick up ink. Okay, I think that is better. Now, vellum you can stamp on, but it does take some time to dry. And it takes so much time that I actually, even after I did that very first thing, by the time I was ready to put my card together, it wasn't dry. So I pulled out my heat tool, and we're going to go ahead and use the heat tool to get this guy dry. So I'm grabbing my tweezers because here, I also managed to burn my fingers. It's been an interesting morning so far. Now you need to be careful with vellum because it can scorch pretty easily. So I do have this on high heat, which is probably not my best decision. But I'm moving it around a lot to prevent scorching. And I can see the wet ink that I am attempting to dry. All right. I think that looks pretty good. And if I just leave it alone while I do the rest of the card, maybe it'll be okay. All right, so let's talk about how we're going to color this. I have, hello Diane, do I have a set of these? Okay, we'll have to talk afterwards, Diane, about how this is the class of the week. So this is not Card Club or the birthday card. Those are featuring different stamp sets. In fact, guys, the Petal Park, those samples are so adorable, and I had to make a decision between a few different designs. That was so hard. I really, really, really hope that bundle carries over to the new annual catalog, which I can't believe it's almost time for that as well. All right, so I'm just using Real Red and pretty much just going around the outline of the lines that the artist has already provided for me. And I might have gone a little heavier in the areas where their lines looked a little bolder. So for Card Club, this month we are featuring the Sweet Citrus bundle, and those projects should be finished tonight. Again, so hard to make a decision on what to include. And, when I'm deciding for Card Club, there's so many factors too. I want all the cards to use the same embellishment and the same ribbon. And y'all just feel real sorry for me playing with all that stuff, don't you? I'm sorry. um, but for a class, I need those things to coordinate. And they don't always, but I try. So I will, in just a second, I will pull out those designs so that you can see. All right, I'm going to do the balmy blue next for his little hat and his jacket. And I am thinking that this is not the the one that we just stamped, because it has got some poorly stamped parts that I don't think ours did. So Diane, I think you missed me when I just said that Hardin is getting his braces off on his next visit to Dr. Cohen. So super exciting. Haven't seen his little teeth in a long time. I think he had maybe thought he was going to wear braces forever. So it'll be right after spring break, which is a bit of a bummer. We had to reschedule this appointment, which means that he might have been able to get these off sooner if we had been able to get in sooner. And then he might have had them before spring break. He and Greg are going to travel over spring break to Missouri. Okay, my in-laws live in Missouri. They do not live in Michigan. And my father-in-law is being recognized, being honored for his service to the community. He was the band director for many years for Webb City, and so they're gonna recognize him, which is so cool. So Greg and Hardin are gonna be there for that, and unfortunately Hardin will still be in braces, but that's okay. He will get them off shortly thereafter. And I think I'm going to need those again in a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and get them out of the way just to free up some space on my desk. Okay, I'm going to use Smoky Slate on the next bit. I think Gray Granite would be really pretty with this too, but since I went with a Smoky Slate base, I'm going to stick with Smoky Slate blends. And yeah, Hardin is so hard to read. Oh my gosh, he's just funny, and he's so literal. Oh my goodness. This morning we were talking about, different options for breakfast. He has an antibiotic that he takes every morning, and antibiotics can be really hard on your stomach. And so I was telling him that I really like to heat up this turkey bacon in the microwave and have it for breakfast. And he quickly pointed out that the microwave was broken. And I was like, I didn't say that I did that this morning. I said that this is something that I enjoy doing. Oh my gosh. And, the new microwave is here. Best Buy has brought it and dropped it in the middle of my kitchen. I don't know. Well, anyway, I hope that Greg knows that they're not installing said microwave. I haven't had a chance to let him know. He is in the office today. So it's just me and the 3 cats and the dog. And I started, what was it, last week or so, with little posts about life with my three cats. So I'm terribly aging myself. My three sons, I don't even know if that was still in the air when I was a kid, but I remember that show. And so, yes, life with my three cats. I took another photo this morning to go with that series. Um, they they steal things. They steal Hazel's toys. Um, her little stuffed animals. They love Barbies and the baby doll clothes, and it's kind of like we're living our own version of Toy Story, in that we wake up in the morning and the toys are not where they were the night before. Um, we never really see the cats go get them. They're just moved in the morning. So this is when you start to wonder, wow, um, is Toy Story real? I mean, can we prove it's not? All right, y'all are thinking I need some protein or something, right? I've lost my mind. Could be. I'm sure with a little chocolate it'll all be all right. So, a friend of mine shared that a reminder that today can be a really hard day, um, for those who are alone, and be sure and reach out and let them know that you love them. If you know somebody is going to have a hard time today, then give them a little extra love. So, Diane, since you are here, I will tell you that I love you, and I'm sorry that today is going to be a hard day. We don't typically celebrate Valentine's Day, although I'll try and have Greg a card made. My team is going to meet briefly this evening, and oops, that's not the right one. Um, but our wedding anniversary was just 10 days ago, so I just brought in a little petal pink to give him a little color. The clouds. Where on earth are the clouds? I know I stamped the clouds. You remember I did that, right? Okay. Did I take them out of the Stamparatus, or did I just leave them in there? That would be funny now, wouldn't it? Okay, guys. Is that what I did? I did! Oh my gosh, that's too funny. Okay, well, I'm glad that was, pretty much one of the first places I looked. All right, so for our clouds, you have seen this technique. We did this with the sheep when we did the on the farm. Um, I think, well, no, the sheep itself, not clouds for the sheep, but the sheep. I just did put a little smoky slate down, and now I'm taking the color lifter and pushing that gray around just to soften it. Not necessary, but yeah, isn't it cool, Joyce? I love doing this sometimes with petal pink and that magnolia. Remember that we had a while back? I did that with it, and following the lead of Celine Kempton on that project. I had a different card I was going to do, um, and it used that DSP that is the scene, and it wasn't going to allow me to um, divide that up for the kits I would need to prepare. So I went with a different card. This is the one that got a little heavy stamped when I had to move the magnet in the Stamparatus. Which He's fine. I could have stamped him again, but he's okay. All right. That is the color lifter. And let's see who goes over there. Nobody. All right. Smoky Slate goes back in there. And my color lifter I borrowed from there. All right. I don't even know if y'all can see, but I have my inks all over here, kind of behind me to my left. So this little guy should be dry enough. We're going to just flag the ends with, what has to be my favorite punch. And I cut him a little long. So when you're doing this, and you may do this with scissors. I'm not good enough to do this with scissors. I'll just tell you that straight out. And I want that to come a little farther in. So I'm going to use my tweezers as a handle and see if I can do this. I use a Post-it note a lot of times, but I was thinking that maybe the tweezers would work. One more would make me a little happier. Well, I think that's okay. What I'm actually going to do is trim off the other end. So I'll put this away before I forget where it goes. I think I just put it in the wrong drawer. I need to do a post about the cabinet behind me. Several people have asked me about it recently, and I think it's going to have its birthday pretty soon. Anniversary of coming to our house anyway. I hope I didn't miss that. All right, let's put our card together. So here is our Smoky Slate card base, our DSP. So that's the one that I used. This is for our inside piece. And you could stamp on this as well. I didn't, but I don't make the rules. There are no rules. You do. Okay, let's make sure I've got there are the rules of raindrops. They do fall down and not up. Oh my gosh. Okay. A secondary rule might be that you should get a little straighter than that. So last week I was with you guys on Monday instead of Tuesday, and I feel like I have been away for a long, long time. What's up with that? But we did that Simply Fabulous class last week, and if you don't have that stamp, please get it. It is amazing. If you are building a starter kit, because you're going to take advantage of the joining special, throw that in there. It is an inexpensive stamp that has so many possibilities. Now, looking at this guy, there's one thing that I didn't do on this one, and we're going to go ahead and try it on mine. I didn't ground him, and we have a stamp in this that we could have used in a little puddle, but I'm just going to take my blend and kind of come behind underneath him and do that. Now, with the one that we're doing right now, I think we'll go ahead and use the puddle. I can take you off because I haven't put the little since I haven't put the fox down, I can put the puddle down first. All right. So, which way do you think it goes? I guess it could go actually either way, huh? Can you all think? Does it go that way? Or does it go that way? Okay, I'm going to do it this way. And then, I don't know why. I'm going to do it that way. And I'm going to actually stamp it in Smoky Slate instead of black, because I just, it's just a subtle thing. And I'm just, eyeballing it here, living on the edge. So I've done that. And then we'll just come along with the smoky slate blend and kind of fill it in. And it could be that that needed more definition by doing it in basic gray, or maybe just smushing it like I did on the first one. I'm not really sure. You like the petal? Okay, good. Thank you. So you can see you can see where the most color landed. This would be a good one for foam sheets. If you're making a board like we did for On the Farm, definitely use the foam sheets for this. They're so much fun and sturdy, and you'll be glad. No regrets. All right, little Mr. Fox. I'm just going to kind of put you like that. And then that'll work like that. Then we'll just put one dimensional on the back of each of our clouds. And stick one to my thumb. And then I'm just going to I'm totally eyeballing this. Giving it some dimension, hence the word dimensional. And then that one just kind of fits in the hole. And then my Oh Happy Day. Okay, so this is vellum. Vellum likes to show your adhesive through. So it can be kind of tricky to figure out where to put your adhesive. So, couple of thoughts on that. You could go ahead and put your gems in place and then have a place to hide your adhesive. Right? So if I'm going to put one there and maybe put one down here, now I've got two places that I can hide the adhesive behind and they won't show through. So I'm going to grab a glue dot, and this one is probably big enough that I don't need to ball it up at all. But for this one, I will a little bit. And then, and it's up higher this time. That's just because of the placement of the fox. There's no big secret to it. And I like iridescent rhinestones a lot. So I just kind of came in and put a couple more here and here, and then another one down here. And that kept me in the odd number category. All right, so super cute. I should go ahead and put this on the inside. So we're actually going to make a Valentine tonight at our meeting. I think it's so cute. My friend Cindy is her design. So there is that card. Now let's move on to this little card, and don't blink because it happens really fast. And so the kit is going to have 2 card bases, 2 pieces of black, and then it's going to have 4 pieces of white because you're going to have one here. And just because it looks more finished, you've got one to go on the inside. They are the same size because I think that makes it a little less confusing. I don't know if that's entirely right, but it works for me. Okay, so I've already got the little bunny rabbit on a block. So, you know, these, when you get your stamps and you put them on, you add the stickers on, then it's the stickers that stick to the block. And guys, I just got ink all over my hands and I'm frantically looking for something that will take it off. You'd think with all of this around me, it would be right here. So I'm just going to use some, whoa, I didn't need that much. So we'll put, oh my gosh. Just like the appliances. Oh my gosh, now I just threw sanitizer on my desk. Ah. All right. Well, we'll set that piece of white aside and work with the other one. Ay, ay, ay. Why that alcohol evaporates. Okay, so do I have white, black on my desk? No. Here it is. I clearly did not clean my stamp after I did this the last time. And I'm going to put him a little farther down. My border was a little tight on my first card. So I'm going to try and do it a little closer to the edge this time. It is so fast and so easy to do if you don't lose your marker. Okay, so I've just got a black, basic black marker. I am going to clean this guy because we know I'll put my hands right back in it. So anybody else crafting today and playing? Curious to know what you're working on. All right, for this, it's just a simple little line, and you can make it as straight or curly as you want. And I just do 3 dots as I go along, and I tend to use the grid paper a little bit to guide me. And I'm not in any way trying to keep those the same length. It is meant to be just a completely whimsical look. And I do have the greeting up on the Stamparatus for this one. I see I got in a hurry. I'm not quite sure that that looks up to snuff, but it's just doodling. And the sample that I cased, my rabbit is too far over, I think. I don't even necessarily want my border underneath the rabbit, but that's how it worked out on this one, and it's okay. So for coloring, I'm going to grab Daffodil Delight and Balmy Blue. And you know what? I might even grab Pool Party this time, just so that that's a little more subtle. in Petal Pink. And I probably only need the light Petal Pink. And we'll do that first. So on the Petal Pink, I'm just going to kind of color in his ears and his nose. And then give him a little cheek there. And then add a little bit to his paws. And that's it for that. Then his little raincoat, because it's always a Paddington Bear. Okay, oh, that's so saffron. I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right at all. This is the one I want. So I think of Paddington Bear when I think of little characters wearing raincoats, right? Wasn't his raincoat yellow? And color it. And I'm not going to color the rest of the bunny at all. I'm just going to color in that little petal. Okay. And done a few. And for this little petal, oops, I kind of went out the line there. That's okay. I just think Pool Party will be a little lighter than Balmy Blue. The paper does coordinate with Balmy Blue, but I'm not using the DSP on this, so there's no conflict. And Pool Party. And so this little guy is on the Stamparatus. Let's see. The greeting is on the Stamparatus. And I've already pretty much got it lined up. We'll see if it's going to fit or not. All right, so that's kind of how it's going to come. I'm going to take it up 1/4 of an inch and see if we like that better. See, 1/4 of an inch is almost too much. So I'm going to drop it down. As long as I line it up on the right, there, I think that'll be just fine. And we will ink it in black, which I should have just left on my desk, except I would have lost it. And bring that over. There you go. So how cute is that, right? So super easy, fast, yeah, and it would make adorable Easter cards, spring. That out of our way. And we'll just assemble. And you could put this up on dimensionals if you like. Put these 2 layers together and then put the black on dimensionals to the Daffodil Delight base if you like. Put it over there. Okay. So you could put this on dimensionals. I'm not going to. Well, come on, start. There we go. And then again, I'm just going to give this a 1/4 of an inch border. So with every class to go, there is a tutorial, and then these tutorials are for sale on my website. And I am working on that, guys. That got to be a quick mess in a hurry. So if you don't see the tutorial you were expecting, feel free to reach out to me. It is something that I'm working on kind of in my spare time as well. All right, what did I do with the navy dots? Okay, so here are these enamel dots essentials. And yes, this is totally navy, but I am still going to use it. I thought I might switch it up, but I decided no. You think, or is it too? It's not obviously navy, unless you're looking for it, right? Right. That's what I'm going to tell myself. And there. And then one of the middle-sized guys up here by his ear. So cute. I've lost the ends of those. Maybe I should have, a little tidy up this afternoon. It's kind of nice not to have to go anywhere this evening. I have some activities that I could do. So super cute. Do you like the palmy blue or the pool party? Looking at it like this, I don't know. I can't decide. But anyway, so pretty quick and easy. Now, this guy, this is the first one that I did. And so let's talk about what the kit looks like for it. So it's going to have, this is the one I'm working with, because it's going to have 2 envelopes, 2 note cards, and they're already scored for you. It'll have 2 pieces of Daffodil Delight, and then they'll actually have 4 pieces of Daffodil Delight, and it'll have 2 pieces of Basic White, right? And you're going to stamp your images. And I think I'm trying to decide what order to do things, because I did not burnish that score line, so he's kind of having a hard time staying where I can see him. Come on, fella, work with me. It's not going to. Okay. I think it's just that day. Y'all can see, right? So we're just going to kind of come here, and I am going to let the flowers stamp off the right edge a little bit. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp the turtle. Get him good and inked up. He looks good. And he doesn't have to be at the very bottom, but he does need to leave room for that "Oh Happy Day." So I'm going to bring him over a little bit. And you'll see. So yeah, I even lifted him up. So few things that we could do there. We could mask him off and let him be on grass, or we could just add some flowers underneath him. We could ground him with some grass. I am just going to experiment like this, and like that. So kind of giving him a little bit of ground, but I could mask this off if I wanted to and give him some more flowers. The next thing we want to do is stamp that greeting, and we do need to put it on the Stamparatus. I proved that the first time that I did this. And even though I've added those flowers, you could still take a Stampin' Blend and give him ground if you wanted to. All right, let's set these just to the side for a second, and let's set up the Stamparatus. Okay. So let's make sure you don't have any ink on you. All right, I want that to stay in the corner. And that placement just helps me a little bit. And then, oh, happy day. Want you up like that, I think. And then I can use my acrylic plate, which has a grid built in, and line up my stamp before I even try it stamping down. So I'm just kind of, the problem is that the H is a little lower than the other. Wow. I'm not so sure how confident I am, but I'm going to remember that I've kind of marked this corner. Now let's see how it stamps onto the grid paper, and we're going to stamp this one in, actually I'm going to use Granny Apple Green on this one. I used Old Olive the first time, and I thought he'd be more fun in Granny Apple Green. He told me so. Actually, guys, I think that looks pretty good. Oh my. Wow. Okay, so that was a message on my phone if you saw me jump 3 feet, because I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. The other thing about this, I was thinking my Granny Apple Green wasn't really dark, so hey, how cool is this? I can just stamp it again. That is not something that you can do with a red rubber stamp on a greeting unless you are using a Stamparatus. I think that turns out cute. Yay, something finally came together. Where? Stamp cleaner. I don't know, I may have to make some more of these today too. I don't know. How many hours are there in this day? Doesn't extend at all, does it? All right. So now, where do I have? Not here. Well, okay. Just totally losing my mind. Maybe it's lost. Okay, fresh freesia or Highland Heather. I know. And Daffodil Delight and Granny Apple Green. And then, well, we'll decide on his little back in a few moments. This seems all kind of crazy, but I'm going to do the center of the flowers first. These flowers are tiny. I am not trying to really blend those. And so I'm just coming in with light Highland Heather, making a very happy spring card with bright green and pretty purple and yellow. And I'm not even, trying to do an amazing job of completely coloring in the lines, within the lines. Okay, my stomach is starting to get hungry. Yours probably is as well. We made homemade pizza during the Super Bowl, and it was so good. Of course, Harden's was just pepperoni, but Greg and I did ground Italian sausage with peppers and onions. Man, it was really good. Really, really, really good. And I'm going to grab the dark granny apple green and just kind of touch their leaves. Okay, now since I've got the dark granny apple green, I'll just continue on. Just following along the artist lines for what needs to be dark. And I think I had well, I think my lids might have been mixed up, but that's okay. So when you are working with your alcohol Stampin' Blends, alcohol markers, work in small areas. Your color will not blend as nicely if it gets dry in between the layers. Oh yeah, the granny apple green is too. Oh, what's my head in the way, guys? I'm so sorry. Um, Granny apple green, very fun. You could turn this into a Valentine's card too with a different message, or maybe the same message. Is he not the cutest thing? So cute. Okay, I asked on Facebook yesterday about commercials and who was in love with which ones. Um, I I liked the one with John Travolta for T-Mobile. Had the soundtrack of Grease in my head for much of the day. And then there was the one with Bradley Cooper and his mom for T-Mobile. Those were both, I thought, pretty cute. And then somebody told me another one. Charlie Appleton told me yesterday. We went to visit him, and he said a different one. Maybe Rachel said that. Anyway, I need to Google it as soon as I remember what it was. Just blend in my greens a little bit. All right, Diane, we'll talk in a little bit, okay? Don't work too hard. Okay, so that's our green, I think. We'll do our yellow and then we'll figure out what we want the back of his shell to be. Well, guys, I'm sorry. There was coloring on all three of these. I should have cut one of them from the DSP and sped things up a little bit. Okay, should his back be yellow too? Why don't we just do that since we've got the yellow out here? This is a card that I cased from some of the samples we saw in November. So, all right, I think that's cute. It's not a tremendous amount of contrast, but it's cute. Okay, that out of the way. So let me show you how I put this little guy together. Um, the so this white panel is up high, right? It's on dimensionals, and the yellow is not. But to know how to space your yellow, you put your yellow to this, and then put it on there. So um, I wanted a quarter of an inch to show. So I am gonna do this, line it up like so, and then I put dimensionals on the yellow. You know, I'm all about the shortcuts, right? I'm all about the shortcuts, in case you didn't know that. But I do have to peel this off. That is a shortcut I cannot take. And see, this is when I really like this grid paper, especially because I've got the color change in addition to help me do this. So I used these quarter marks all around, right? How cool is that? You could cut one strip of yellow, absolutely, but then I wouldn't have had a way to show you how cool this is. And we'll just keep in keeping with what we did on the other side. We'll line it up there and there, and voila, we should have about a quarter of an inch on each side. Now flip it over and add dimensionals to the white middle because we don't want them to sag any. And we can even add a little adhesive on the yellow that's going to fit flush to the card base. Right, so here's my card base. I'll do my score line a little bit so I can see where I'm going. You all see where I'm going? And then I should have that white layer should come in. Why is it shaking so much? Okay, come on. That looks straight. I think that's straight. Okay, there's that. And then we'll give this a good crease with the bone folder. And I'm not even going to add anything at all. Okay, so Old Olive here and Granny Apple Green here. I like the Granny Apple Green. Your instructions are going to be for Granny Apple Green. So, okay, just so you know. And then I just grabbed the Pool Party. I don't know that I like the Pool Party better or the other one. And then the Smoky Slate. How do I get these in camera? Right, these are the three designs. Tomorrow, I am back with a shaker card, not a video, but it will be the next template of our year. Our next card template is a shaker card, and we're going to feature some designer series paper from this bundle, and as well as the card template. And of course, that template is free. So everybody have a very blessed Valentine's Day. If you're on my team, I hope that you will join me tonight. We're going to make a Valentine's Day card. We have a speaker, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I will see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.